He support. Appreciate you, brother. Michael Baxter. Definitely ain't gonna let you down, pimp. Just stay locked in. I got us. Now that we got that out the way, let's get it. All right, so this story gonna be about somebody that holds a very special place in my heart. At first, I wasn't even gonna tell the story, but you know what? If not, why not? So without further ado, let's get it. So when I was down MCIJ, I had just came off lockup after being behind the door for 6 months straight. I had to sling that knife, put a little bit of work in. But anyway, they let me back in general population. They sent me in the building right across from the lockup building. I forget what the building was called, but they sent me in there. So when I get on the tier over there, first nigga I spot, the good brother Liver, Cat Eye Liver, stand up Conrad. As soon as he see me, he come over, dap me up, ask me, do I need anything? I tell him I'm good for the most part. So he like, all right, once you get yourself situated, come holler at me. And he went back and got on the phone. I still had my bedroll and stuff, so I had to get my bunk already together. They put me in the cell with an old head dude named Michi from up Park Heights. He was cool, talked a lot, but he was cool. And once he found out I was a good brother, he started looking off for me. This all the strength. But anyway, so when I finished making my bed up and shit, straightening my locker out, I go back out in the day room, because down MCIJ, they don't lock your doors until it's count time. You can come in and out your cell all day. So MCIJ was my last stop. After serving 9 years, I had a year left on my bit. And right towards the end of my shit, while I was just over there on lockup, the female that had been holding me down all that time finally came clean and told me she was pregnant by a nigga and he proposed to her. Talk about heartbroken. That ain't nothing you want to hear when you on lockup behind that door. We had all these plans for when I get out. That shit just went up in smoke. And that really threw me off, because she was part of my coming home process. We was going to live together and start from there. But anyway, shit had a major effect on me. But at this point, I ain't had nobody to talk to. I ain't had no pen pal. And for the first time, I was lonely. I had Shorty all that time to talk to. She was gone now. But anyway, I finished straight my cell out, go out in the day room. Liver was out that bitch doing his push-ups and shit. Sit-ups, jumping jacks, getting it in. So when he see me pop back out, he get the cheesing. He walk over, he like, man, what it is? I get to telling him, like, boy, I'm short as a midget standing in the pie hole. I got less than a year left. He like, oh yeah, that's what's up, boy. No, you ready. Motherfucking right. So he get to telling me like, shit, he got 90 days left. And he been locked up just as long as me. So I'm telling him like, bro, you get out there, make sure you give yourself a chance, man. Don't come back in here. Don't be in a rush to come back. And he like, right, same to you though. So then out the blue, he get to ask me, like, yo, what's up with the girl you was talking to? The light-skinned girl with the pretty eyes. And I knew you was talking about my old girl, because when we was up Hagerstown on the farm together, I used to show him my pictures and shit. But I had to tell him like, bro, Shorty got out of there on me, man. She pregnant, ready to get married, and some more shit, bro. He like, for real? Yeah, that's crazy, yo. He like, I know you fucked up about that. I'm like, fucked up ain't the word, champ. So he get to telling me like, man, shit, my girl got a nice home girl I can put you on with. So here and there, I'm like, oh yeah, she look like. He like, hold up. He run in the cell, grab his pictures. Come back out, he get to showing me the pictures. She was in a few photos with his girl. Man, when I tell you Shorty was right, I couldn't believe my eyes. I'm like, she ain't got no boyfriend? He like, nah. So I'm like, what's her name? So he like, Emma. They call her Emma. So I'm like, oh, all right. How you gonna do it? How you gonna put me on? So bro, like, man, that shit ain't nothing. Watch this here. He walked over to the good brother phone. So you know the good brother had their own phone in the day room. But anyway, he hopped on the phone, called his girl. Her and Emma out and about together. I'm standing next to him. He tell his girl, like, man, tell Emma I got somebody she gonna like. Want to talk to her. So I guess she was like what he looked like or whatever, because he was trying to describe me. But eventually he passed me the phone. So I hopped straight on like, hello? And for the first time I had heard her voice. She like, hello, how you doing? My name Emma. Well, I'm like, all right, I'm Dutch. I get to telling her like, I need a friend. Is it cool if I write you? So she like, all right, that ain't no problem. She like, you can get my address from Liver. Just make sure you put a picture of yourself in the first letter you write so I can see what you look like. All right, that ain't no problem. She like, but don't you want to know what I look like? I crack a smile. I'm like, shit, I already do. I seen you on Liver pictures. So she like, oh, all right, that's what's up. But I tell her, I'm like, when you write me back, just send me one so I can have one. She like, all right. She like, I'm gonna do that. She like, but I'm about to get off this phone because such and such want to talk to her man. She was talking about Liver girl. I'm like, all right, I passed Liver back the phone. He sit down in the chair, put the phone back to his ear, hit me with one of them. All right, so boom. That night, I write her the letter, threw a couple pictures in there of myself, drop it in the mailbox. So within 2 days, I get a letter back. Like, she wrote me right back. Off the break, I noticed as soon as I get the letter, she done sprayed it with perfume. I was sniffing that motherfucker. Cause you know we don't get to touch females, smell, none of that shit. So that was nice. Getting to smell a woman's scent for a change. So I get to ripping the envelope straight open. She sent me a picture, man. She was looking so good. Brown skin, she had the blonde finger waves in her head. Super pretty. So I get to reading the kite she wrote me. She telling me how handsome I was on the pictures that I sent her. I smiled instantly. Really had a gangster blushing. But anyway, she telling me in the kite how she lost her high school sweetheart to the streets. Niggas killed him. And this was the nigga that took her virginity, who she wanted to have her kids by and spend the rest of her life with. And he was killed a little less than a year prior. And reading her letter, she seemed excited that I only had less than a year left. And that surprised me, because some females act like they can't even wait that long. Alright, so like a week later, after I had her put on my visiting list, she come kick down that door to see your boy. From Baltimore City all the way to Jessup, Maryland, she came to see your boy. Her and Liver Girl came up together. They pulled both of us on the VI. When I got in that visiting room, as soon as we laid eyes on each other, it was like love at first sight. She walked up and we just hugged and kissed like we'd been together 20 years. It was just like she understood, you feel me? We had that understanding. And after that first visit, it was really up from there. She come to see a nigga every week. Even sometimes when Liver Girl ain't come down, she would come by herself to see your boy. Always fresh, always got the latest kicks, slick hairstyles, door knocker earrings. She had a certain flyness about her. Used to turn heads in the visiting room. Niggas be sitting there with their girls looking at her. But anyway, I had acquired a cell phone in there because this girl wanted to talk to me all day, every day. She hated when I had to log in at 10 o'clock and couldn't get back on that jail phone. That meant we couldn't talk until the next morning when they let us back out. So what did she do? This girl sent me a $500 green dot so I can buy a little phone that the CO nigga in there was selling. See, back in the day down at MCIJ, we had a CO nigga in there selling cell phone. That nigga was getting rich off that shit. So she paid for the phone. So now I got the bike. In the middle of the prison system, we call cell phones bikes. I got the bikes, I'm doing wheelie on that bitch. All day, all night, we on the phone together. She would literally be at work doing her shift and we would talk the whole entire shift. And that made me feel like I knew her way longer than I did. I done heard her whole life story just from talking all the time. All right, boom, so time going by, I'm getting closer and closer to my release date. Walking that bitch down like a big dog. Now, my coming home plan was to go stay with my mother. But Emma was not trying to hear that shit. She done went out and bought all this stuff for her house for me to come stay with her. Because when I first got released, they was going to have me stay in a halfway house first. Then when I complete the halfway house stay, she wanted me to come stay with her. That was the plan. Conrad Liver couldn't believe it. He like, damn, you moving in? So long story short, I never forget this shit. Liver wasn't on the tier with me no more. He had went on lockup for some dumbass shit they found in his cell. So one day I come out in the day room. I literally only had 2 weeks left before I got out of prison. I come out on the tier, I decided to hop on the phone. I'm calling little Emma, I ain't getting no answer. Calling her back to back, no answer. So I call my mother, give her Emma number and tell her call Emma and check on her for me because she don't never not answer her phone. Never. I don't give a fuck if she at work. She press 1 for me. So I hang up the phone, my mother calls her. I wait like 10 minutes, then I call my mother back to see if Emma picked up the phone or anything. Well, when my mother answered the phone, off the break, I could hear it in her voice. She like, Jay, I got some bad news. So I'm like, bad news? My mother like, when I called her sister answered the phone. And she told me, Emma passed away in her sleep last night with brain aneurysm. I promise you, I never felt no shit like that before in my life. I literally wanted to jump out the fucking window. I couldn't believe it. My baby, yo. And I still ain't healed from that 100%. Rest in peace, little Emma. Love you, baby.